By the time I reached my 20s, I was so overwhelmed with having an overly cluttered makeup bag filled with a bunch of products that just didn't match my skin tone, and that would take me forever in a day because one, searching through this makeup bag takes me forever. Two, it's overwhelming as heck whenever I'm trying to get ready. The anxiety of getting ready is real. Three, I could never get my makeup to look good. And after I entered my 20s, my life became a lot more busier, so I didn't have time to sit there and take all the time to get ready anymore. After years of tirelessly searching for a quick and easy makeup routine that would help me look put together effortlessly, I finally found this all-in-one custom palette that is color matched to my skin tone. I was able to put together a signature makeup look that makes getting ready so much easier. So let's go ahead and break down all of the shades that are in my custom palette. I'm going to show you how to apply it and how you can get your hands on your own custom palette like this. Our contour shade. This is the shade called Indigo, which looks really dark and scary. And when I was first color matched this, I thought the girl was crazy because this literally looks like mud in a tin. Because of the formulation of this contour, it's a little bit stiffer than the other colors, so you only get a wash versus you getting an intense amount of color. Placing it right above my cheekbone, making sure not to go past the eye, taking a little bit on my forehead and down my nose. Then I go in with my main shade. This is the shade that matches most of the coloring on my skin. It is the darker color on my face because, as you can see, my face is not one flat color. I have light areas, I have dark areas. This shade will match your neck and the darkest areas of your face. I also use this one to add coverage beneath my eyes and anywhere else that I might need it. Then I go into a brightening shade. This is a little bit lighter than my skin tone shade. It's gonna be closest to the lightest colors around my face, which is usually found on the center of your face. Place that right around the dark spots, center of the nose, center of the forehead. Really bring light and dimension to the face. Before I add any of my other colors, I like to blend in these colors first so that I create a more flawless finish. Starting off with the under eye area, using a pointy brush like this, dabbing to blend. My skin was nice and prepped underneath. You can see how the makeup just glides on when I blend it out. If you use this makeup and you find that it's really hard to blend, it's probably that you haven't prepped your skin correctly. That's something I could definitely help you with. Taking the fluffy side of the brush, blending the contour up. I always leave the darkest shade for last because this creates a more flawless finish and makes sure that the makeup doesn't look muddy. Starting from the back of the ear, working our way forward, stamping back and forth. This will give a natural blend and also keep the product in its place. So you can see here on my nose where I'm swiping versus stamping, that makes it look a lot cleaner. Then I go in to my bronzer shade. It is a warm tone bronzer shade that really adds that beautiful warmth and dimension into brown skin. If you're more on the fair side, this might pull a little bit orange, but I could definitely help you pick out the best shades that are gonna work for your skin tone. As a makeup artist of over 13 years and using this makeup for over 3.5 years on my client, I have color matched over thousands of women to this makeup. So I know a thing or two about the right colors that are gonna work on your skin tone. Personally use all of the shades. Go into my blush shade. This is one of my favorites, and this color looks good on every single skin tone. If you like that pinky, peachy blush, this is it. Pick up a little bit on the fluffy side of the brush, starting from the temple, working our way forward. I personally do struggle with blush blindness. Didn't start off that way, but if you ever find yourself placing a little bit too much of the makeup into your lighter shade, stamp a little tiny bit of that on top. That will tone down the blush, make it look more natural, make it look like the blush is shining from within your skin. Look at the difference between this side here and that side there. And before I go into the last 10 in this palette, I'm going to set my makeup because cream makeup does not set by itself, but the makeup is going to move with your skin. It's not going to dry out your skin. If you're someone who is oily or fears that you might get makeup on someone else, making sure that you use a setting powder to lock everything in is going to be best. 2 different setting powders you can choose from. This one will give that beautiful glow back into the skin and just blur out the skin. What I like too is that it doesn't leave a white cast on brown skin, and it also won't tone down your blush color, which a lot of setting powders can do. It will blot off any of the excess oil and just give you a natural glow to the skin versus it looking greasy. Get the difference between this side versus this side here where we didn't. You can see how this is just a little glowier. If I touch it, you can see how that makeup moves versus this side here. When I touch it, it doesn't feel sticky anymore, and that makeup is going to stay in place all day long. Now that we've set both sides of our face, we're going to finish off with one of my favorite products. This is a cream illuminator in the shade called Nova. Just gives a beautiful lit from within finish, and since it is a cream formula, it's not going to enhance any excess texture. I have a lot of texture on my cheekbone, and powder, highlighter, or illuminator and tend to bring out a lot of that texture on the high points of my cheek. So I'll place a little bit on the tip of my nose and down the center of my nose just to enhance my nose contour, on my Cupid's bow to make my lip look a little poutier, and my favorite, inner corner of my eyes. You can even use this as eyeshadow on the eyelid and place a little bit of that bronzer on the outer corner. If you do use any kind of cream makeup, be sure that you always set it with something. I love using this hydrating setting powder because it doesn't get rid of that glow on our Illuminator eyeshadow. Adding some lip oil to the center of my lips. I love this one because it adds like this beautiful iridescent glow. And now we look instantly put together with this one palette, and it took me about 3 to 5 minutes to do this whole face. The more that you use it, the faster you get. Comment down below the word match, and I'll help you choose the perfect shades to create your signature makeup look. Be sure to follow for more brown skin friendly makeup tips and tricks on how to instantly elevate your routine like a pro.